was a hard line saying, unless I get my way, I'm going to shut the government down. I'm going to risk default for the nation. Now, anyone can do that. I believe in immigration reform. What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down? I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way. It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis.
That was Senator Chuck Schumer talking to me in 2013. It was a little thing we call the lead that runs during the week, and a slightly different message than what we're hearing from him today. My panel's with me. Congresswoman, let me start with you. So you're a fresh person, a fresh woman, yes. So I can't hold you responsible for your positions in 2013. But right. The Democratic position in 2013 was you can't hold the government hostage to issues, whether it's Obamacare or immigration, and how now we have the Democrats taking the exact opposite position.
Well, I don't think so. I think you have a lot going on here. Look, the Democrats don't want the shutdown. The Democrats want a deal to be made. We want issues to be addressed. Look, I came to Congress to get things done, to vote on issues, to have debates. That's what the American people want. They don't want a shutdown. And we really need the parties right now to come together and talk about some of these issues that they've been saying they're going to address, and they haven't, whether it is DACA and immigration or whether it is a CR and getting a full-year budget. This is no way to run a government.
Well,
Senator?
I couldn't agree with Chuck Schumer more than I have in probably ever in my life.
2013 Chuck Schumer.
His 2013 Chuck Schumer. He's right. I mean, he's right then. Look, I've never been for government shutdowns after the first one. I went through the 1995 government shutdown and learned my lesson that this is idiocy. This doesn't make any sense. It's gamesmanship. And every time Republicans have tried to do this, try to get something in exchange for a funding, we've ended up on the short end of the stick because the American public figured out that our responsibility is to keep the trains running here. If you have problems, work them out, but keep things moving. This time, the Democrats have actually stepped in it. This is the Democrats now saying, we won't vote for something unless you do it. In the past, every government shutdown was Republicans wanting something in exchange for funding the government. This time, it's the Democrats wanting something, and I think that's the loser.
Well, I think that we need to add some intellectual honesty to the conversation. The fact is this, in 2013, the Republicans and Rand Paul and Ted Cruz were holding out hope that you could defund Obamacare, something that wasn't popular, something that they haven't been able to do with the majority. Here, Democrats are asking for something that nearly 90% of the American public want to happen. And the simple fact is, the reason we're here is because Republicans in control didn't reauthorize CHIP. Republicans in control are the reason that we have DACA uncertainty. And Republicans in control for the first time in modern history, in control of the House, Senate, and White House, cannot seem to keep government running. So that's why we're here. It doesn't have anything to do with 2013. It doesn't have anything to do with Chuck Schumer. This falls square on the shoulders of the President of the United States.
Well, one of the reasons we have DACA uncertainty is because President Obama provided unilateral temporary amnesty to this population with no consent from Congress. And I will be probably the one person at this table to speak in favor of shutdowns if it is something that you truly believe in is necessary and you are willing to make the case. I don't see the Democrats saying straight up, shutting down the government is worth a temporary protection for 690,000 people. That's the case they're making. They rejected a 6-year deal on CHIP in order to try to get some shred of a promise on DACA. And the deadline is coming up. And so I think they backed themselves into a corner. They don't truly have a roadmap of where they're going or where to get out. And President Trump, for once, I think is exercising somewhat some message discipline. He's in the catbird seat. Republicans, they are in stronger, higher ground. President Trump should say, yes, come to me with a deal, or we're going to stand off, because I bet the Democrats are going to blink first because they are not standing on the strongest case they should.
Speaking of message discipline, if you call into the White House comment line, there is a message. I didn't believe it when I first saw it on Twitter, but we checked it out, and we called the White House comment line. This is what you hear.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. Thank you for calling the White House. Unfortunately, we cannot answer your call today because congressional Democrats are holding government funding, including funding for our troops and other national security priorities, hostage to an unrelated immigration debate. Due to this obstruction, the government is shut down.
Your response, Congresswoman?
It's ridiculous. You know, look, I'll be the first to tell you, I think we need to take the Dreamer issue up. This is a bipartisan issue. The country wants this on a bipartisan basis. It's a personal issue for me. Look, not only is my district 70% Latino and I have 8,000 Dreamers in my district, I have a family member, a cousin of mine, who's a Dreamer. And so for me, it is a personal issue. But the American people want us to continue on this issue. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle telling me they're willing to vote on bipartisan legislation. There is bipartisan legislation, whether it's a DREAM Act, whether it's a USA Act, but we can't get a vote on it. That's all we want. We want to vote to have the conversation, to have the debate, and that's what we're really asking for.
It does seem like there is an obvious bill to be done, an obvious compromise, but it's not necessarily one that a majority of the Senate Republicans or a majority of the House Republicans would vote for. But it is something that would pass the House and Senate, and it is something that a majority of the American people support.
Yeah, well, the problem is that it's not a problem. I mean, the Republicans are in control, and they have a right to be able to ask for things that they want in exchange for this DREAM Act extension. And if you look at the bill that was put forward, it wasn't just a DACA fix. I mean, there were 10 million people that would have been some path to staying in this country for indefinitely in the proposal that Dick Dimmock and Lindsey Graham put forward. And there was minimal funding. There was no funding for a wall. I mean, so the idea that there was a bill there that could have passed, that's just ridiculous. That bill could have never passed the House of Representatives with a majority of Republican support. And if you're the leader, if you're the Speaker of the House, you've got to put a bill forward that a majority of your members are going to vote for. And that's what they need to be focused on.